This video is purely for educational purpose. If you want to make any sort of investments, please do your own research. Today I am going to be talking about NFTs and cryptos, and mind you that there is as such no deep study, research or analytics involved in basically what I'm about to share. Right? This is just nothing but some experiences and learnings which I have had, and some insight which comes to me off the top of my head. I'm going to be sharing that with you. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are nothing but sort of an art pieces of an artist. What I to basically give you an idea what the NFT boom was all about during the year 2021, 2022, 2023 ish. Even now, there is some cash flow in the NFTs. As far as I know, uh, during that time, as much cash flow or as much hype there was, or as much as NFTs was trending back then, it is not doing that highly right now, as far as I know. So to name some of the top NFTs would be Board Ape Yacht Club, Azuki, Doodles, Cool Cats, Cool Dogs, Invisible Friends, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, and so much more. Right, the list is endless. So yeah, to give you a brief idea, basically what was happening is, let's take an example of share market, right? If you buy a stock at 50 rupees and the price doubles, basically from 50 to it reaches 100, and you had invested, let's say 50,000 rupees. So as the price goes double, your 50,000 will become 1 lakh, right? So 2x the money which you have invested in, right? In NFTs, the amount which was going multifold was insane, right? It was not 2x, it was not 3x, it was not 4x. Definitely, there were some people who were trading at 2x, 3x, 4x as well, but the potential was just enormous. It was more than 10x. It could be more than 20x. It could be more than 50x. So to give you an example, basically what one project of NFTs used to do is that an artist used to come up with on an average 10,000 collectibles. So what these collectibles were, right? These collectibles were nothing but 10,000 different art pieces, but of the same project. Let's say now the art piece is of a monkey. We are taking an example of the Board Ape Yacht Club, right? It's of a monkey. Now the artist is creating that ape or monkey in different forms, right? Like some would have a cap, some would perhaps would have the red eyes, some would perhaps have the beard, like some sort of a jacket, which basically makes that art piece, that single collectible, very unique than the other, right? And these were being traded at a very high value, and I think even now that is the case. Anyways, so basically, to give an idea about what these NFTs were, what was the use case of these NFTs were, on a very basic level, would be that you could use that as a profile picture. Yeah. So, as ridiculous as it may sound, that was actually the case. But it definitely has more layers. It's not just the PFE. Basically, when you own such an NFT, you become a part of a community, right? And that community has many things to offer, and vice versa. So basically, we will come to what basically vice versa stands for. I mean, what the members of the community would have to offer, right? So what used to happen is when they used to launch these projects, they used to of course market it well. Some influencers of like on YouTube used to talk about it. So basically, when you will watch that, so they will perhaps give you a brief idea about what NFTs are, etc. So you have to pick the projects very wisely, because some projects do not work out for whatever reason, and some projects are intended to do really well, perform really great at the OpenSea market and etc. Right? They have all the intentions to provide value to the community members. So let's say, for example, as I told you, that share market double the price, etc. So what used to happen over here is that, let's say, 0.08 rupees is the minting price. Now, what is the mint price, right? Uh, Sorry, 0.08 Ethereum, not rupees. So minting price. So basically, when these sort of collectibles or projects used to launch, this was sort of available to purchase at their website, the communities or the project's website, right? So you used to purchase those collectibles, single collectible, at the website, and then what people used to do is, majorly what I know of, as they were very much into making their money, right, like getting their buck back. So what they did is they used to purchase it and sell it instantly, basically flipping, sell it instantly on the marketplace like OpenSea. There are many more market places for NFTs right now, and trading with different cryptocurrencies. But mainly to give you a very general idea, very popular idea, and how it all started was, it's nothing but Ethereum, right? So used to purchase that on the website, let's say 0.08 rupees Ethereum, and then it used to be sold on, even now it is happening on marketplaces like OpenSea, right? And now the tricky part here is, uh, at what price these sort of collectibles and NFTs are being sold, right? So the investments, or the sort of the returns, were magnificent, and it was actually ridiculous. There were, so 0.08 Ethereum, and of course Ethereum has its own volatile nature, like, because it's cryptocurrency, right? So Ethereum has fluctuated. Of course, it started from some basic level price, right? Like, but basically, since I started tracking cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrencies and whatnot, it has traded somewhere always between 1 lakh to 4 lakh, right? Even in the year, I think it had reached, in the year 2021 2022, it had reached 3.5 lakh ish. So the highest price which this Bored Ape Yacht Club has got is 800 Ethereum, approximately 800 Ethereum. So please do the maths. I mean, I think 0.08, right? Like, I think then it would be to five to six zeros, 5 to 6 zeros. That's crazy money. I mean, for example, if you had invested, what I mean, so the mint price was what, like 0.08 Ethereum, right? So let's consider it as around 10,000 to 14,000 rupees ish. Multiply that into however zeros you want, like 5 to 6 zeros. Of course, that was the highest one has ever paid for. Forget 800 Ethereum. Even if you had got half of it, which was possible, even now, like today is what, I think 27th or 28th May 2026, when I'm shooting this video. I just had a look. There are still some BAYC collectibles which are being sold at 100 Ethereum. Today, One Ethereum is around 3 to 4 lakhs or 2 lakhs, and it is basically, of course, the price keeps fluctuating, right? It's cryptocurrency, so the prices and the returns were totally crazy. So the hype, the marketing was real. If something is so good in itself, basically, if it's nothing but money, right? If something was so good, then the word of mouth and the marketing, basically, it spreads like fire. Marketing spreads like fire. Yet people were, posting videos about it on YouTube. This was doing really great on Twitter, something like Twitter and Discord communities. So now the thing is that there are now two ways, as far as I can tell, to get your hands on such NFTs, right? Now, BAYC definitely has its own standards. Very few, or let's say, some people got the opportunity to purchase BAYC or Azuki or this, right? Like Mutant Ape Cat Club. There were other NFT projects as well, which did really well. It couldn't build up the sort of standards like Bored Ape Yacht Club. Perhaps Bored Ape Yacht Club was very much, I don't know. It got a lot of support from celebrities. Like I heard that I think Snoop Dogg had purchased Bored Ape Yacht Club or something like Crypto Punks, if I remember it correctly. The last I checked, I think even Justin Bieber had purchased it, and many celebrities had purchased NFTs. So it got the hype even from there. So marketing was very much the key aspect, of course, apart from many other things. So yeah, so there were many other projects which were launching their mint price at 0.05. So if the listing on OpenSea markets were not as high as 800, even if the let's say the market price which was getting launched at OpenSea was as good as 2 Ethereum, 3 Ethereum, 10 Ethereum, 20 Ethereum, it was definitely a profit. There were many things involved: ETH, gas, Ethereum. There are many aspects involved, like what sort of wallet do you use. Basically, to trade at such OpenSea market, you need a cryptocurrency wallet, or basically some wallet which is helping you purchase your NFT and store it from places like OpenSea, right? So all of this was happening. Now, how do you get access to the NFTs at the mint price, right? Because once it is at OpenSea market, you can purchase it even there, but it is still a bit more expensive. It is on a expensive side, and I don't know why, but people used to buy it, on the market like OpenSea. For whatever reason, they used to buy it. There was this term called floor sweeping. So yeah, and by the way, people who are finding this interesting, please try to make notes, and remember, please take this as an educational purpose. And if you are planning to make any sort of investments, do a thorough research and then invest at your own risk, please. Anyways, moving on, basically. So minting price, that was the whole key of this whole process for the people who wanted to flip and get that instant buck and make instant money, right? And many people, I understood that many people are just focusing really on that, right? So how you can purchase it at mint price, right? So there was one phenomenon called whitelist, if I remember it correctly, whitelist. So how do you get this whitelist, right? And what is whitelist? We'll come to that, all of that. I'll explain everything to you about whitelist, right? So what happens is these projects usually have a website, right? And these websites have links to Discord communities, Twitters, and etc. There's basically social media platforms where you can engage. Now, what used to happen is all these majorly all these projects used to run Discord communities, right? Basically, you will find it on the website. So everybody used to basically rush into these Discord communities, and there were so many rules and regulations. So the main objective, majorly, popularly of many people was to get the hands on the whitelist, right? Because you're purchasing the NFT, you're getting the NFT at a very cheaper price, and you can sell it on OpenSea market at a higher level. So that was the whole point of it. Because there was as such no, I mean, of course there could be, but this is one of those ways, methods, assets which is making you money way faster, because share markets take time. If of course you're a trader, I don't know much about trading, so the fastest money making process which I know of in such assets, at least, is what I before cryptocurrency was share market, right? Like, or perhaps something like that, basically. Anyways, so NFTs, right? Like, it basically your returns were in the span of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Depends on when basically the launches and when they are going to be uh, available to sell it on marketplaces like OpenSea. So mint price and whitelist we were talking about. So whitelist, basically what this used to do is what people used to do is the community, the who are the founders and who are the administrators, who are the like the total the authorities of the project, they used to set up some methods and process how you can get the whitelist. So there were many ways. At first, what I had heard of and basically knew of was that, like, you had to complete certain number of words and you used to get your hands on the whitelist. Yeah, it is as easy as it may sound. It is actually crazy, but it was that easy, right? So what happened is that people started taking advantage of this, and they used to type any random word and used to complete their whole process. Then later on, they came up with the rule that you have to make a genuine conversation and real connection with people, right? And along the way, this whole process changed, where basically what can you bring to the table for the community and the project, right? Like, are you an influencer? Are you uh, are you an artist, right? Are you artist? Basically, perhaps you could be really good at sketch, so perhaps you could make or give some ideas to the artist who is going to come up with 10,000, 5,000, 3,000 collectibles, different collectibles, right? So and perhaps also you could be a moderator in the group, administrator of the group, who could manage and uh, help the community to run these projects, right? So these were sort of ways to kind of get the whitelist. To give you a very brief idea, there were some projects which didn't have any such rules. If they found somebody very much interesting, or like who could add value, who could bring some value to the community and the project, they would give that person the whitelist. And what this whitelist does is it gives you an access to purchase one collectible. I'm giving you an example. One collectible. Let's say there were 5,000 collectibles. And now as this hype was going higher and higher, right? There were a lot of people coming into this community, these Discord groups. So Discord groups used to get flooded with 50,000, 1 lakh. I'm just giving you some random numbers, 50,000. But the definitely sort of like higher number than the collectibles which were available to purchase at the mint price. Let's say mint price was 5,000. So the community members or the people who had joined the community were somewhere near around 20,000, 50,000, sometimes 1 lakh if I am quoting it correctly, right? So that was basically the sort of crazy part of this whole process and the project and NFT side. That 1 lakh people are fighting for that 5,000, one of the positions from 5,000. One position of the 5,000 places. Basically, you understood, right? So, one of the positions of 5,000. One position from the 5,000 so one of the 5,000 positions, right? And you could get only one whitelist, right? And one whitelist, so you will get to mint only one collectible. I'm just giving you an example. There were some projects which were allowing you up to 2, 3, and 4, but that was it, right? So that was the whole point of it, right? Now some collectibles or some projects were allowing people to purchase the NFTs at 0.05, 0.08, something like that. Some people had set a minting price in the first place at a very good mark, like something like 1 Ethereum. So many projects had different sort of criteria, but to give you a brief knowledge and sort of an understanding, a general understanding how these projects were working, this was the basically the overall concept of it.